Call to order the zoning meeting of Knox County Commission for Monday, April 24th, 2023. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lundy, Commissioner Durrett,
Here.
Commissioner Oster,
Here.
Commissioner Ward is absent, Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Here.
Commissioner Hill, Commissioner Lee,
Here.
Commissioner Beeler, Commissioner Daly, Commissioner Jay,
Here.
Commissioner Frazier. Okay. Commissioner Lundy is here also. 10 members present.
We do have a quorum. Director Moyers, I'll turn it over to you for those who are here to testify.
All right, if you're here to testify about any matter, either for or against any item on the agenda, please stand and raise your right hand. If you're here to speak to this commission on any item on this zoning agenda, please stand and raise your right hand. All right, you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're going to give tonight be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do this.
Be seated, please.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, please read the first item.
First item is on page 11. Yes, page 11, item 53-A-23-RZ is a request of Robert C. and Overly R. Scott for rezoning from A agricultural to PR Plan residential up to 5 dwelling units per acre. Properties located at 6101 and 6105 Ball Road. Parcel ID 091, 040, and 041 in the 6th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Thank you. Did you get sworn in? Okay. Please approach the podium.
Sir, were you sworn in earlier when I asked for everybody?
I was not. I wasn't really sure what was going on.
All right, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes,
You
sir.
solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record
Robert C. Scott,
and your address.
6101 Ball Road, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch, will you please read us Planning Commission's recommendation?
Approve the PR Plan residential zone with up to 4 dwelling units per acre because it is consistent with the sector plan and surrounding development by a vote of 12-0 consent.
Thank you. Would you like to speak to this project, sir?
If you want to speak with this project, if you want to say something.
Oh, well, what we're planning on doing there is building 15 600 square feet homes, or 15, I'm sorry, and use them for traveling nurses, people who are looking to come to Knoxville who can't get affordable housing, can't get short-term leases, and can't find anything that is completely furnished, and we're trying to fill that gap.
Thank you. I will now look to my fellow commissioners for any questions or discussion. Commissioner Oster?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Scott, so is it just, you're just wanting to use that for traveling nurses, or is that going to be open to?
Well, predominantly, I mean, if somebody wants to have a, rent it for, they're here traveling for, looking like we did when we came to Knoxville.
Right.
We needed to find a place. We had to sign a year lease someplace. And it'd be nice to sign a lease for that. But predominantly, our focus would be, since my wife is in the healthcare business, we're looking to fill the gap for traveling nurses and traveling professionals in the nursing field, doctors, eye doctors, anesthesiologists, things like that.
Okay, I think that's awesome. And as a realtor, I really appreciate people being able to have something temporary housing in between, because right now we're stuck.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to get a little bit more information on your projects. I think that's great.
Well, we keep an eye on, what is it called, the website?
Furnace finder.
Furnished finders, and there's so many medical professionals trying to come to Knoxville, and they just can't find a place that's close by, and they can have everything. They fly in, they rent a car, they stay for their 2 or 3 months or 6 months, and fly back out.
And
still
we
have
need
privacy.
that too. We need more medical professionals in
exactly
here.
what I'm
So,
thinking,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you very much. Very
ma'am.
interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Oster. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Director Welch, if they build 15 structures, is this considered a consolidation of short-term rentals?
I'm not sure, I mean, there'll be rental, just like anything else, we approve any developments for rent or for sale. We don't look at it from that perspective. So as long as they meet the density requirements, we do not look whether it's for sale or for rent.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, I will look to the District Commissioner, Commissioner Hill.
Thank you. I do have a question. Are you going to be tying into Zion Road, or are you going straight out to Ball Road in that development?
Zion Road, the properties really sit kind of down Zion Road, so it would not be coming out on to Ball Road.
So your access is Zion Road then?
Yes, ma'am, there is
Okay.
access. That's why I had to buy the neighbor's property to make it work. So,
Great, great. I appreciate that. I think that's a very good thing. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the recommendation as given by Planning Commission at 4 dwelling units per acre.
Second.
Oh.
Motion to approve the Planning Commission's recommendation by Commissioner Hill with a second by Commissioner Oster. All those in favor, any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much, sir. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 51 is 3-C-23-RZ, request of Jonathan Lehman for rezoning from A agricultural to RB general residential. Property located at 0 Beaver Ridge Road, parcel ID 079JA011 in the 6th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Jonathan Lyman, 0 Beaver Ridge Road.
Thank you. Is there any opposition or anyone wishing to speak to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch, will you please read us Planning Commission's recommendation?
Approve the RB general residential zone because it is consistent with the sector plan and surrounding development, supports more residential intensity subject to 2 conditions by a vote of 14-0.
Thank you. Sir, would you like to speak to your project?
It's just zoning and that so we can use it for duplex.
Say that again. Get close to the
I'm
mic, sorry.
It's trying to get it zoned to RB so it can be used as duplexes.
Okay. Look to my colleagues for any discussion or questions for the applicant. Seeing none, I will turn it over to Commissioner Hill.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me and explaining to me what you plan to do on this. It's currently an empty lot that he's going to be moving a single duplex on, and he's very aware of the conditions that go with this. So having said all that, I'd like to make a recommendation to approve the RB zoning because it is consistent with the surrounding development.
Second.
Motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation of RB zone by Commissioner Hill with a second by Commissioner Frazier. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck with your project. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 52, 3-D-23-RZ, request of Lisa M. Clark for rezoning from A agricultural to PR plan residential to 5 dwelling units per acre, located at 6924 East Emory Road, parcel ID 020202 in the 8th Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Lisa Clark, and my address is 9824 Tallahassee Drive in Knoxville. Can you hear me?
And will you state your name again? It was not through the
Lisa
microphone.
Clark, and my address is 9824 Tallahassee Drive in Knoxville.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item? Or anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the RA low-density residential zone because it is consistent with the sector plan, dimensions of the parcel, and surrounding development by a vote of 14-0.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you wish to speak to your project?
Yes, I'm satisfied with the recommendation, and I have no plans to make any changes to the existing structure at this time, but I'm satisfied with that. Would like to have that be approved.
Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion or questions? Seeing none, I will look to the District Commissioner, Commissioner Beeler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Clark, did you say you don't have any plans to build any more?
No, I don't currently. What I had originally wanted to do was to, when I had a tenant turnover, to be able to turn the existing structure into 4 units that would be more affordable rentals. But I don't believe this zoning allows that. If I were to add any additional units, I would have to build additional structures on the property, within the setback lines and so forth. And it is a large lot. It's almost 2 acres. So, that might be something that I would do in the future. I'm not going to do it right now, but I would like to have this zoning approved. I think this zoning is more in line with the existing structure than the agricultural also. So.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with the RA as well. So, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve this rezoning per the Planning Commission's recommendation of the RA zone.
Second.
Motion is to approve Planning Conditions recommendation by Commissioner Beeler with a second by Commissioner Frazier. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item 53, is 3-B-23-SP. It's a request of Cascade Falls LLC for a Northwest County Sector Plan Amendment from LDR Low Density Residential to MDR Medium Density Residential, property located at 8436 and 8440 Old Middlebrook Pike, parcel ID 105ME036 and 037 in the 3rd Commission District.
Is the applicant present?
Yes, it's Terry Patton.
And your address, please.
My address is 2036 Wilkerson Road, Loudoun County.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item or anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission action, approve the sector plan amendment to the MDR medium density residential land use classification because it is an extension of this land use class and the property meets the location criteria in the Northwest County sector plan by a vote of 12-0 consent.
Thank you, sir. Would you wish to speak to this project?
Yes, we're planning to build 54 townhomes on this property. I developed a piece just north of it, Crescent Court, several years ago. And what we're hopeful is to bring what is affordable housing. And this would be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhome. And so we're hoping to approach something in a $300,000 market price.
Thank you. Commissioners, I will look to you for any discussion or questions. Seeing none, Commissioner Oster.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank Terry for talking to me on the phone, answering my questions. I think everybody knows I love when I talk to the developers and the builders because it really helps to understand what's going on. And I went by and saw the properties that you've done before. They're great, perfect as far as that price range for first-time buyers or for people who are looking to downsize. So, and it's actually going to benefit the area that's around it. It's going to add some more to it, and I'm glad about that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to approve the sector plan amendment to the MDR land use classification because it's the extension of this land use class and the property meets the location criteria in the Northwest County sector plan.
Second.
Okay, motion is to approve approve the sector plan amendment to MDR by Commissioner Oster with a second by Commissioner Frazier. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That
Thank
motion
you,
carries.
Commissioners.
Don't go too far.
Oh, yeah, I know there's one.
The next item is number 54, 3-F-23-RZ. It's a request of Cascade Falls LLC for rezoning from RB General Residential to PR Plan Residential up to 12 dwelling units per acre, and the property description is the same as the previous item.
Thank you, sir. Please state your name and address one more time for the record.
It's Terry Patton, Chief Manager of Cascade Falls LLC, 2036 Wilkerson Road.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the PR Plan Residential Zone with up to 12 dwelling units per acre because it is consistent with the surrounding zoning and the property's current zone allows the same density by a vote of 12-0.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, do you have anything to add?
No more than I already have said.
Thank you. Commissioners, Commissioner Oster? Does anyone else want to have anything to discuss before we go to our district commissioner? I see no lights.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to make a motion to approve the PR zone up to 12 dwelling units per acre because it's consistent with surrounding zonings and the property's current zone allows the same density.
Second.
Motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation by Commissioner Oster with a second by Commissioner Frazier. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Good luck with your project.
Again, thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item number 55 is 3-H-23-RZ. It's a request of Michael and Cynthia Booker for rezoning from A agricultural to RA low-density residential. The property is located at 5506 and 5508 East Emory Road, parcel ID 029-100-100, part of, in the 7th Commission District.
I see the applicant's present. Please state your name and address for the record.
Well, Mr. Booker's not here. I'm filling in for him. My name's Chris Rudd.
What was your last name?
Rudd, R-U-D-D.
Thank you. And your address?
925 Hawassi.
Thank you, sir. Is there any opposition to this item or anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the RA low-density residential zone because it is consistent with the surrounding development and a sector plan by a vote of 12-0 consent.
Thank you, sir. Do you wish to speak to this project, Mr. Rudd?
He's got it's just a duplex that he's owned forever and 9+ acres, and he only wants to sell as little as he has to with that duplex. He said he's tired of being a landlord.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, turn it over to you. Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is it correct that the applicant's wish is just to subdivide 0.29 acres from the larger lot to bring it into compliance?
Oh, the 29 acres meets the RA zoning is what we're asking for.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Seeing no lights, I will turn it over to our district commissioner, Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So what exactly is he going to do? Just subdivide it? He's not going to build on it?
No, there's there's an existing duplex on it, and he owns 9 acres behind it. But the only thing he wants to rezone is the duplex. And so he doesn't have to give up 2 acres of his big ground.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion.
I would make a motion to approve the RA zone because it's consistent with the surrounding development and sector plan.
Motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation of the RA zone by Commissioner Lee, with a second by Commissioner Beeler. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 56, 3-I-23-RZ is a request of Beacon Development of Tennessee Incorporated for rezoning from PR Plan Residential up to 5 dwelling units per acre to OB Office Medical and Related Services. The property is located at 9120 and 9124 Middlebrook Pike, parcel ID 105083 in the 3rd Commission District.
Is the applicant present? Please state your name and address for the record.
The name's Johnny Grau, address 3061 West Gallagher Ferry.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Is there any opposition to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the OB Office Medical and Related Services Zone because it provides a transitional buffer between commercial and low-density residential uses and is consistent with the sector plan, subject to one condition by a vote of 12 to 1.
Thank you. Sir, do you wish to speak to this project?
Yes, I'd like to build some attached townhouses, and I'm aware of the condition and that landscape plan B, and obviously I'm willing to do that.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any discussion? Seeing none, I will look, Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Just a point of clarification, Mr. Law Director, if the motion is made to approve the project, do they have to specify including the one condition? So it's in the record.
I mean, if you're approving according to Planning Commission recommendation, that includes the condition. If you want to include it as part of the motion, it's kind of redundant, but it doesn't hurt anything. But if it's according to their recommendations, that would include the condition. Yep.
Thank you. Any more discussion? I will turn it over to Commissioner Oster, the Commission District.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I enjoyed speaking to you. You really gave me great information of what you're going to do, and then told me where to go to see the projects that you've done over on Dean Hill, and they're beautiful. So I'm really excited about that. And you do have the condition of the landscape that we have discussed also. So as the law director had stated, which I already knew, I don't necessarily need to put the condition in there because it is already in the planning condition. And so, and you're already aware of that.
Yes.
And you've already made that commitment. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to approve the OB zone because it provides a transitional buffer between commercial and low-density residential uses and is consistent with the sector plan.
Motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation.
Second.
By Commissioner Oster, with a second by Commissioner Hill. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Number 57 is 3-K-23-RZ, request of Candace Michelle Nuzil for rezoning from A agricultural to RP, rural preservation. Property located at 6356 Stevens Quarry Lane, parcel ID 022-07204 in the 8th Commission District.
Thank you. Will you please state your name and address for the record?
It's Candace Michelle Newsel, 6356 Stevens Quarry Lane, Corrington, Tennessee.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the RP Rural Preservation Zone because it is consistent with the sector plan and rural land uses in the area by a vote of 13-0.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you wish to speak to this item?
No, I just think it's going to be a great project that we've got going out there for the community.
Thank you. Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you. I hope others will see this and follow your lead on preserving some of the most beautiful property we have in all of Knox County. So I'm excited about this, and I just really want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. Commissioner Daly?
I want to say thank you also.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Oster?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is this property right near House Mountain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because actually my mother owned property up there on Stevens Square years ago and had horses up there, so I think it's right up near that area.
What part?
It literally set off of, right off Stevens Quarry. So you're going down Stevens Quarry, it's on your left. I want to say there was 50 acres at one time.
What was your mother's name?
Rita Parker.
Rita Parker.
But it's been years ago. But what I wanted to say was thank you, because it's absolutely gorgeous property. And so to be able to keep it and what you're wanting to do is commendable. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll see you guys all out there.
Love to.
All right, thank you. Seeing no more lights, I will turn it over to the District Commissioner, Commissioner Beeler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Aren't they great? I mean, my colleagues making this zoning stuff really easy.
You guys are better than my neighbors.
For real. Well, hey, we do like rural preservation in the 8th District, that's for sure. So I would move that we approve this rezoning to RP as
Second.
recommended.
Okay. Is that possible? So the motion is to approve Planning Commission's recommendation of RP zone by Commissioner Beeler with the second by Commissioner Daly. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much.
I'll let you know when the grand opening is.
Perfect. Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 58 is 3-L-23-RZ, request of Ralph Smith for rezoning from A agricultural to RB general residential, properties located at 3922 Shad Road, parcel ID 079GB008, part of, in the 6th Commission District.
Good evening, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Ralph Smith, 205 Lamar Avenue, Clinton.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the RB General Residential Zone because it is consistent with the sector plan and surrounding development by a vote of 12-0 consent.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, would you like to speak to your project?
Not unless anybody's got a question about it.
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion or questions regarding this item? Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. How are you going to access that property?
We're being rezoned. We're taking that little piece of A and putting it into RB because we needed to re-subdivide this. Mr. Ray wanted to buy a little piece of property from his brother-in-law who owns the property behind him. So he was zoned RB, but the property behind him is zoned A. So we had to get it all into RB to be able to do a resub. So.
Okay, so they're going to build and use one driveway for both houses?
Right, there's a house there. They're not going to build a house or anything. There's a house there already.
Right.
And he just wanted to add on to the back of his property. So since the back of it was in A and it requires 1 acre lots, he had to rezone it.
Gotcha. And this is like a third of an acre?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, I will turn it over to Commissioner Hill.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
I have no problem upholding zoning or Planning Commission recommendation to approve the RB. It is consistent with the sector plan.
Second.
Motions to approve Planning Commission recommendation by Commissioner Hill with a second by Commissioner Frazier. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. That motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Item number 59, 3-A-23-SP, request of Travis Yates for a South County Sector Plan Amendment from GC General Commercial and HB Hillside Protection to MDR Medium Density Residential and HB Hillside Protection. Properties located at 400 West Governor John Sevier Highway, parcel ID 137-25403, part of, in the 9th Commission District.
Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
Travis Yates, 1244 South 4th Street, Louisville, Kentucky.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to this item? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission action, approve the sector plan amendment to MDR Medium Density Residential and HP Hillside Protection because it is consistent with the development in the area by a vote of 12-0 consent.
Thank you. Sir, do you wish to speak to this project?
Not necessarily, but I do want to say that Knox County Planning Commission has probably been one of the most pleasant organizations I've had the pleasure to deal with. So.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that compliment. We don't hear them often.
Take them where we can get them.
We really don't. Commissioners, floor is open for discussion. I don't see any lights on, so I will defer to our district commissioner, Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hopefully you'll say that same thing about the commission here in just a few minutes. Travis, appreciate you calling me and discussing the project. Great project. You do know the 3 conditions. You're agreeable to the 3 conditions. So I'm going to make a motion for Planning Commission's action to approve the sector plan amendment.
Second.
Oh, gosh. Motion to approve Planning Commission's action to approve the sector plan amendment by Commissioner Daly, with a second by Commissioner Schoonmaker. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Don't go too far.
Item 60 is 3-M-23-RZ. It's also a request of Travis Yates for rezoning from CBK Business and Manufacturing to PR Plan Residential up to 7 dwelling units per acre, and the property description is the same as the previous item.
Please state your name and address again for the record.
Travis Yates, 1244 South 4th Street, Louisville, Kentucky.
Thank you. Any opposition? Seeing none, Director Welch.
Planning Commission recommendation, approve the PR Plan Residential Zone up to 7 dwelling units per acre because it is consistent with the surrounding areas subject to 3 conditions by a vote of 12-0 consent.
Thank you. Anything you wish to add, Mr. Yates?
No, thank you.
Okay, commissioners, questions or discussion? I don't see any, so I will defer to Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Yates, thank you very much. When you do your plan development, contact me, let me see it just to keep up to date, to keep the neighborhood up to date.
Absolutely.
I want to make a motion to approve PR Plan Residential. Wait a minute, where am I at? 60?
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation.
Motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation by Commissioner Daly with a second by Commissioner Oster. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Item 61 has been deferred until May. So item 62 is 12-E-22-RZ, request of Benjamin C. Mullins for rezoning from CB Business and Manufacturing to T Transition. Properties located at 1461, 1481, and 1501 Maryville Pike, parcel ID 122LA001, 003, and 002 in the 9th Commission District.
Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sent you an email today for that request. I think this is the second time. Do we need to suspend the rules, Law Director, to do this, or are we okay with it? Since I'm requesting it.
The deferral?
Yeah.
If you're requesting, it doesn't require suspension of the rules.
Okay.
You can do it yourself.
I'll make a motion to rehear at the May 22nd meeting.
Okay. Motion to defer to our May zoning meeting by Commissioner Daly with a second by Commissioner Beeler. Any discussion?
I'd like to hear this one.
What? Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So an applicant can keep deferring and deferring and deferring, but if he came here under our rules, he'd get one deferral, and then the second time we would, if he wanted to defer it, it would be withdrawn then at that point. But if he comes to a commissioner, the commissioner can keep going on and on and on and on and on. Is that correct, Mr. Law Director?
That's correct. What our rules say is if an applicant has a right to a single deferral. Okay, so if he's here the first time or she and says, I'd like a deferral, they have a right to that. The second time, they can't do it. But commission controls its own agenda. And the commission can defer as many matters or a matter as many times as it likes. That's, and as I recall, I'm not mistaken, this was deferred by the commission the first time.
I believe it has been because this is the one, not getting in too deep, there's an issue with the title insurance. And that title has to be solved before the zoning needs to be taken place. And I apologize that we have to keep doing that, but if we could prod the title company to come on, well, it'd be better.
Well, I understand, absolutely. There would have been no problem procedure if we'd done that at the beginning of the zoning session, right? Or during setting the agenda.
Yeah, we could have done it setting the agenda, but I apologize. I should have brought that forward at that time. I wasn't paying attention, so slap me on the hand. So.
Okay, motion is to defer to our May zoning meeting. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Commissioners, there was a miscommunication. Mr. Calvin DeBrill had signed up last week to speak to our non-agenda items for this week. So he's going to briefly address commission.
Calvin DeBrill, 5201 Holston Drive. Commissioners, you had a question put before you not too long ago about 18-year-olds working for the Sheriff's Department. February the 5th, Mrs. Lisa Edwards died at the hands of Knoxville Police Department officers. All of them officers were older than 18 years old, but something was said in the middle of her dying in the street. Sergeant Brandon Warlow, KPD officer, told Miss Edwards, this is all an act. When you get out to the jail, you better not play this stunt because they don't play around out there. Now, Sheriff Spangler, Chief Purvis, they are trying to fill gaps as far as not having enough officers out there working. The reason why they have a shortage is because, I hate to say, my own personal experience with almost 2 years of solitary confinement in that jail, what happens when somebody has an issue like Miss Edwards had. Here come the fist, here come the feet, you'll get beat, thrown in the cell, and they will cut off all communications to the outside world for 30, 60 days until you heal. But in the meantime, your family's out there wondering, well, why can't I see him? Well, he was being disruptive or she was being disruptive. That's the reason you have a staffing shortage out there. I think you asked Chief Purvis, well, what's the reason why people keep leaving? Because when you look at the inhumane treatment of people in a confined area, such as that county jail out there, where you have people sleeping in the floor right now. Out there in cells, for 2 men, there's 3 men in it with a toilet that don't flush. This is not anything that I'm making it up. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've had to live, survive through it, and still fighting it today. So Sheriff Spangler's not telling you the truth. Chief Purvis is not telling you the truth about why they have a staffing problem out there. Because people with a heart, any kind of humanity, imagine if they'll do that to a woman in the street at the hospital, imagine what goes on behind closed doors in them concrete cells and nobody can hear you scream. Think about what you're doing, putting 18-year-old kids out there in that jail. Y'all take care.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could we have our colleague from Campbell County come to the podium and just tell us what his impressions were of our commission meeting and how long he's been in service? Huh? And do you really have to put up with Rusty Orick?
Yeah. My name's Tyler King. I've been county commissioner at Campbell County for 4 years now. I just started my 2nd term. You guys have a lot better order than we do in Campbell County. If you ever get a chance, you should come up and watch the circus. We don't have zoning in Campbell County, so I think that's pretty cool to have it here. Yeah. But
not?
Our workshop is the 3rd Monday of the month, and our meeting is the 2nd Monday of the month, and our meeting is the 3rd. So, thank you.
Is Scotty still there too?
He is.
Is that your buddy?
No.
Thank you. I didn't mean to embarrass you, but we appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you. Is there any more business to come before this zoning meeting with Knox County Commission? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
May 16th.
It's May 16th. We're adjourned.